The wife now is beyond angry and wants a divorce, or we stay together and she gets to do whatever she likes and I don't get to question her. Back to They Did What, your source for the internet's craziest, most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and most certainly make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over 3 interesting stories dealing with the subject of husbands and wives finding that their partners or other spouses were watching porn. And it's very interesting to see the reaction between how men handle it and how women handle it. The first story is going to be from a guy who discovers on his wife's phone or computer, I forget which, that she's been looking at that stuff. And to no surprise, he thinks it's cool. Because in his mind, he's thinking, awesome, she's into this stuff. That means she's freaky, means I'm going to benefit from this some way. He doesn't get insecure, he doesn't feel needy, none of that stuff, right? After that, I'm going to go over 2 stories dealing with women that find their husband or boyfriends looking at this stuff and they freak out. One threatening divorce, amongst many other things. It's ridiculous. And I gotta say this, lots of studies have been done that show that addiction can happen because of looking at that stuff, and it can definitely have a negative impact on performance in the bedroom. So for relationship guys, it's not a good idea to get addicted to that, otherwise you can't function. Every once in a while, that's one thing, and certainly if you're doing it with your girl, that's one thing. But if it's a regular thing, it has its problems. But that's not the subject here. The subject is the difference between men and women, and it's hilarious. And I'm going to get more into it as I read the thing, especially from the woman's perspective. So the first one from the guy is, caught my wife watching porn. He says, so I caught my wife watching that, and I'm totally cool with it. Right there, first sentence. Totally cool. In fact, it's a huge turn on and I love it. The thing is though, I caught her in a sneaky sort of way that I am sort of proud of. Just a little background, we currently have an amazing SEX life. And over the last 12 months or so, my wife's libido has skyrocketed to an all-time high. Awesome. Clearly he's doing something right. And yeah, she likes to watch that stuff. Awesome, in my opinion. That means more freaky stuff for you. No problem. We are very open, and in the past we have watched porn together, but haven't done it for a number of years now. At some point she just wasn't into it anymore, and I was cool with that, as we have added plenty more to our repertoire since those times to keep us both very satisfied. We both work full-time and have kids, so we're very busy during the week, and sometimes I work back late. I'm more of a quality over quantity type, and I like to build up the weekend, where we always make time for each other and have an uninterrupted, indulgent session. Her, on the other hand, likes to get action during the week. Now, most of the time, I'm totally down for that. But if I had a big day at work, or I'm working back late, then she'll take matters into her own hands. She'll be totally transparent about this and will let me know. So this is where I started to wonder if she was actually looking at porn while flicking her bean, as she puts it. This is something she would not tell me about. So, yeah, she's open with him about it, but it doesn't sound like he cares, even if she wasn't. So I checked her phone from time to time, but she's always browsing on private mode on her iPhone using Safari. She has multiple tabs open in private browser, but nothing alluding to porn, and of course no stored history in private mode. This is where I got sneaky. I copied each link in her private browser and pasted them into a new tab in the normal browser and deleted each tab in the private. Basically, replicating her private browser in the normal standard browser. I did this so when she opened her browser, it would look the same, but I could check her history. This guy is sneaky. If she caught him, she'd have a reason for being annoyed he was on her phone, because obvious reasons, but then again, nowadays guys have good reason to be checking their wife's phone, as we all know that. So last Saturday night I got home and she was asleep, and I knew she was horny that day. So I checked her browsing history, and there it was. Glorious porn. Needless to say, it was a massive turn on. See? And I actually think it's even hotter that she doesn't know that I know. I also love to see what she searches for and what the last viewed link was, because that's obviously where she finished off. I can't wait to catch her more in the future. I also can't wait to get home to her tonight so we can get ridiculously dirty together. I would never use this information against her, so I don't think what I'm doing is wrong. Do you? Well, perfect world would be wrong that you're looking through her phone, but on the other hand, knowing what I know nowadays. But if she isn't giving off any red flags of cheating, that's one thing. But the point is, this is dealing with the PORN. So long story short, he's cool with it. He's turned on by it. He's excited. No big deal. Not feeling insecure. None of that BS. Now we're going to get to two stories. One with a wife and one with a girlfriend. And it is the exact opposite. And there are some things that the guys do in these stories that I'm definitely going to point out where they're going wrong and how they handle this whole thing with her. So this one says, my wife, a 26-year-old female, caught me watching that, and now she is thoroughly disgusted by the sight of me. So the other guy was turned on beyond belief, and now this guy's wife is disgusted. Sounds to me immediately like a way to control him. He says, I am 30 years old. I've been married for almost 5 years. Yesterday, I got overwhelmed by many things. Work, debt, money, you know. So after a gaming session, I went to take a shower and thought, might as well crank one out. The wife is on her period. And I was caught. The wife now is beyond angry and wants a divorce, or we stay together, and so she gets to do whatever she likes, and I don't get to question her. I have 2 baby boys and do love my wife. Please, can you help? Smack. Dude, you were taking care of business for yourself in the shower. Okay? It's not like you're with another woman. And now you're all like, what do I do? What do I do? I need help. At the end of the day, you say, look, it's not a big deal. Still love you, all that. But look how she's reacting here. Emotional, freaking out. Now we're going to get a little more into this. He says, a little clarification on my wife. She was sheltered and spoiled as she is the youngest of her siblings. Aha. Now we're getting somewhere. She is very insecure about herself. Another thing. She has a good heart and was always by my side when needed, but I think her ignorance about the world and her extreme jealousy is the cause of some of the arguments, including this one. I don't want to divorce her as I still love her and the kids. Well, you know what? I'd say pretty much, all right, I did what I did. I'm a man. Men do this. It is our minds are always in the gutter since we're probably like 11 years old. It's not personal, but you're not going to go tell me that you're going to divorce me or say you can do whatever you want now because you don't like that. But if not, well, I guess we got to break up and play hardball and be willing to walk away because that is ridiculous. They have a good thing going except for that. And he admits that she's really insecure and sheltered and spoiled and all that. Well, number one, he should have married her. Smacked him for doing that. But also by him, pretty much groveling, that's going to piss her off more because she'll be turned off by him acting like a little bitch. And that's going to make things worse because she'll then demand more. Goes on. He says here, she's not against me taking care of myself, but against watching PORN. He says, I just had a chat with her regarding the situation. After confirming that it was indeed PORN and not the pleasuring oneself that got her angry, she told me that she hates her body because I preferred another over her. That's bullshit. Guys, a guy can have the hottest woman in the world. He's still going to A, check out other women, and B, do that on occasion and look at certain things. That's just how we are. It's not personal. Every guy here watching it knows this. Also, when she said that she can do whatever if we stay in the relationship, that was just angry talk, and she herself won't dare do it because of how comfortable it is for her. I tried to assure her this is a one-time thing and it will never happen again, as I valued her and our family more than S-word release. Smack. Dude, it's not that big a deal, but you're allowing her to make it a big deal. He needs to remain calm and be and under control and say, it's not that big a deal. I'm not cheating or anything like that, and lay down the law, because he's allowing her to get all fired up and emotional and letting her call the shots. Never a good thing to do. See, I tried to assure her that was a one-time thing, blah, blah, blah. She said that until her self-loathing subsides, no touching or physical contact of any type will be possible. In other words, she's now going to double down and punish him now with no action, just to make sure he never dares to do this again. Great girl. Great choice to marry. To me, I managed to see how much I hurt her regardless if she overreacted or not, and how much damage I've done to a person who stood beside me over the years. I tend to fix this with everything in my power and reassure her that she will always be my number one and no other will be able to take her place, whether real or fiction. Smack. You are caving to her ridiculous demands. And now she knows that whenever she's not happy about something, she can throw a tantrum and threaten to divorce you and say all these things, and this guy will cave. That's what this guy's communicated to her by his handling the situation instead of being calm and rational. It's ridiculous. Intend to fix is everything in my being. Dude, grow some balls. If all fails after this, then going our separate way could be the best thing for both of us and our children. Dude, I think it's a good thing now, because this is not going to stop. It's going to get worse. And anybody that's been involved with a woman that's like this, but not necessarily with this particular subject of PORN, but other things, you all know it's going to get worse. I sincerely want to thank you all who shared your advice and opinions in this matter. I still can't believe how this thread I started out of our sleep deprivation and desperation blew up like this. You're all good people for taking an interest in my problem. Whatever, dude. Grow some balls. Okay, next one. Titled, Girlfriend Caught Me Watching PORN and Freaked Out. Need some advice fast to help save this relationship. If she's freaking out that much that you are desperately looking for help to save the relationship, then you don't need to be in a relationship with her. But let's just see where this goes. It says, I'm a guy and we're both 23 years old. 23. You all know the hormones when you're 23. Been together for over 5 years, and though we were pretty happy recently. I walked in on me last night watching some PORN on the PC. She found PORN once before and freaked out and had a big fight about it, and I agreed not to watch any again. Smack. Again, not that big a deal. The problem is, he's caving to her demands. They're not married, by the way, and said, I'll never watch it again. But he gets caught doing it again. And here's the question. Is it the lie that she's pissed about, or him watching the PORN? Probably both. Well, I'd probably say it's more the lie, to be honest. And he's stupid for doing that. He should never agree to this to begin with. Again, like the other guy, lay down the law. I don't really watch it much. I try to stay away from it as much as I can. She said it's almost as bad as cheating in her mind, and she doesn't know she can trust me again. If that is the worst thing he can do to cause her to think that I can never trust you again, that says everything you need to know about her. What's going to happen next? You're walking out in the park and you happen to look over at a woman who was sneezed or coughed, and she immediately gets bent out of shape because you looked at another woman. What guys put up with is amazing to me, and the way they cave and apologize to things like this. She said it made her feel like shit, that she isn't enough for me, and there are plenty of other guys out there who wouldn't make her feel like shit. I slept on the couch last night and we were having the conversation when she gets back to work in 5 hours. She seems furious, and I'm guessing there's at least a 50-50 chance she's going to end it. Dude, if she ended it, it'd be the best thing ever happened to you. You don't be with someone that's controlling like this. Slept on the couch over looking at some PORN and all this drama, and how she says she can get other guys, won't make her feel this way. Sure, if she's above average looking, she can get other guys, no problem there. But guess what? They'll do it, and they're going to do it. It'd be a blessing to this guy she broke up with him. I know I messed up by going back on a promise that I wouldn't watch any. It's just really hard to avoid on the internet sometimes. Not an excuse, just an explanation. I value this relationship and I really want to be with her. Does anyone have any advice on how I can deal with this? Yeah, here's some advice. Grow some balls, my man. Lay down the law. Explain how guys are. You can say, look, I did lie to you. Okay, that was not cool. I did say once a long time ago I wouldn't do it. I shouldn't have said that. But aside from that, guys do this. Since we're all like 11 years old, it's nothing against you. And if you can't handle that, then okay, you know, maybe just best we part ways now. Wish you the best. It's been a great time. See ya. Watch what she does. She'll probably throw a tantrum and all that, and you walk away. Next thing you know, you'll probably hear from her in a week. Or you won't. And you know what? You don't lose anything, because this is what the relationship's going to be with someone like this. And no guy needs that. And you know what? She'll probably cheat on it anyway, because women don't respect or love guys that are pussies and cave to their emotional outbursts and stuff like that. Says, I'd like to thank everyone for their replies. It has helped to get my head straight. I think the fundamental issue is, as in some replies, that I broke a promise. By doing that, I've hurt the trust element of our relationship. I have come across a post on Reddit before on the nature of cheating, which basically defined it as breaking an agreed upon boundary of the relationship, no matter what the boundary is. Well, you were the dumbass that agreed when she caught you before that you would never do it again, because you were scared that, ooh, I made her mad, and ooh, she'll break up with me. Big deal. A guy on his purpose, a guy on his grind, a guy has value, he can replace a girl like that. And you know what? that guy can get a girl like the guy in the first story that's into this stuff, right? Because notice there was no problem in that relationship. Well, I don't think watching PORN is cheating. Watching it after promising not to is another matter. The PORN issue is non-negotiable for her. I'm aware that she is insecure about herself and slightly immature. Aha, another one. Insecure, immature. In an ideal world, I wouldn't want to have to choose, but here I am. If it's PORN or her, I choose her. I love her. How could I not? 100% cold turkey starting yesterday. The relationship is otherwise great, and we're going to work on it. Thanks again for the diversity replies and some solid advice. Smack. You are P-whipped, and it is going to get worse. Guaranteed. Because now it'll be something else that she can get you to cave on and control you. Anybody thinks I'm wrong there? Okay. Keep caving to outrageous and ridiculous demands. Now, again, there are some women out there that have been with guys where they had an addiction to that. And that's understandable. And they couldn't perform in the bedroom, which is obviously important for relationships. So I could get that, but it doesn't seem like that's the case for either one of these stories. It's purely them being insecure, being jealous, and wanting to control their guy. Again, if it was they had a previous guy with an addiction or something like that, then I could kind of get where they're coming from. But the way these guys caved, is any wonder so many stories are out there about these women cheating on the guys or wanting open relationship, open marriages, because the guys act like complete manginas and their women walk all over them. And when they throw their tantrums, the guys, they buckle, they cave. You know, it's yes, dear, whatever you want, dear. No woman wants to be with a guy like that. I guarantee you both of them, they lay down the law and were willing to walk away, they get a completely different reaction. But they'll learn. So anyway, guys, I thought it'd be a pretty entertaining thing to cover, these three different versions. First, the guy's version. He loves it. It's the coolest thing in the world. And hey, who wouldn't, right? The other two, the women, they find out, they freak the hell out and want to control their men. So just be careful, you relationship guys. All right, guys, that was it for today. That was a good one to cover. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Guys, let me hear your stories. Have you ever been caught by your wife or girlfriend or whatever? What was her reaction? Did she freak out, make all kind of threats like this? I like to hear about it. And guys, let's hear about you ever caught your girlfriend, wife doing that. What was your reaction? Did you threaten to divorce her or anything like that? Or did you think it was cool that maybe it would benefit you one day? I like to hear it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.